What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, back again on Monday. Got a nice 10-game slate here tonight, and I got it broken down for you. 6 of my favorite plays in the slate, 2 pitchers, 4 batters to get it done here. So go ahead and drop a like in the video if you're ready to get it going here. Start your Monday off right with some great plays. So let's get right into it, though. First guy up, it's going to be Jack Flaherty. First, I was looking at Chris Sale, but the weather is not looking too promising currently in Boston. So didn't want to recommend him with a possible postponement in that game. Looks like the rain is like high percentage throughout the whole entire day. So I'm assuming that game doesn't get played. Obviously, we'll update on Twitter if things change, though. Maybe I'll pivot to Chris Sale if the game is looking a lot safer. But currently, Jack Flaherty here in this matchup against the Brewers. He's really struggled against them, so I think his ownership could be pretty low. People are going to want to pay up for some batters as well, so I could see him being under-owned. But this guy has some really good upside, especially at home here in St. Louis. It will be a part downgrade from Milwaukee, and they have a pretty high strikeout rate. They can strike out a good amount. Also, Moustakas might not play in this game. One of their better left-handed batters, really good against righties, so that's an upgrade if he is out. But like I mentioned, only 5 and -2. But both games against Milwaukee were in their ballpark. So that's kind of a factor that could help him going back to St. Louis. And it's not like he has bad BVP against these guys, despite those 2 bad outings. Must have had some good starts against them last year, but in the BVP, we're talking 123 plate appearances, so a pretty good size sample. He has a 31.7% K rate, and they have a 252 average, so it's not like they're hitting him too hard. The strikeout rate is really promising. He's been a really good strikeout pitcher this year and last year. Had a really good start against a similar kind of Dodgers team who have a lot of home run power at home, and he got 29 DraftKings points in that game. So I think he can do something similar to that, get a lot of Ks, limit the home runs, and have a good outing. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my first guy. I'm going to go with Joe Musgrove, really safe and consistent starter so far this year. 19, 22, 32, and 6.5. Only one bad start, and that was because he only pitched 2 innings. And I don't think he even started the game. He must have been like a relief pitcher in that game. 2 innings and 1 K, only threw 30 pitches. So in his 3 starts, though, he's been really good. Some really solid stuff against a few like decent lineups. Cubs and Cincinnati, they're okay. Detroit's like okay, probably a little bit below average. But going against Arizona here, I'm not too worried about them. They have not really any great hitters to be concerned about. A lot of like pretty good hitters, like below average guys, and I think Musgrove can make some safe kind of solid work out of him. Just going like 6 to 7 innings, getting around 6 Ks here. Not crazy upside, but I feel like he has a good shot at just being really safe here. Normally I like to target huge K upside, but I don't think he has it here. Obviously, it'd be great if he does. He's been a little bit better with his strikeouts this year, but he hasn't been a terrific strikeout pitcher throughout his career. This year at 25.6% K rate. Last year was around 20.5%. And swinging strike rate is up a little bit. So the K percentage can go up a little bit in this game, but I think he'll just be safe, give us a solid start, good shot of the win. And they're only implied 3.4 runs, so Vegas likes him a good amount. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my second guy. Then I'm going to go with David Dahl here, back in Colorado. Recommended them for the same reason the last time I made a video at home in Coors. He's really good at Coors. He got 2 doubles for us there. Really good power against right-handed pitchers. This is a big part downgrade for Jeremy Hellickson, who has surrendered a good amount of home runs over the last 2 years. He's been a little bit better so far this year, but I think if going to Coors Field, he's going to struggle against the lefties like David Dahl. I mean, he has really good pop, and especially with a huge run total here for the Colorado Rockies, 5.8 runs. Vegas absolutely loves them, and David Dahl in that 2 spot has some really good upside. He's due for a huge game, I think, in Coors. He's been a little bit quiet recently. I think it's coming here against Jeremy Hellickson. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my first hitter. Then I'm going to go with Yoan Moncada, another guy with huge power upside in this matchup, going against David Hess, one of the worst pitchers this year in MLB and last year as well. So for Moncada here, this is a park upgrade going to Baltimore, and throughout his career, he's been a much better hitter against right-handed pitchers. He has a lot more power. 356 ISO so far this year against righties. All of his home runs have came against them, and he has a 434 WOBA against them as well. And like I said, Hess extremely bad as a pitcher, allowing a ton of home runs so far this year. He's allowing, or no, in his 2-year career, came into the MLB in 2018 last year. So including last year and this year so far, he's allowing 2.7 home runs per 9 a left-handed batter. So allowing a ton of power. It's not going to help being in Baltimore as well here tonight going against Moncada. So, and one of Moncada's biggest issues is striking out. That's really one of his weaknesses in his game. But Hess only has like around a 16-17% K rate throughout his 2-year career. So definitely not anything to be worried about. Moncada, when he gets the ball in the bat, he's going to hit it with power. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my second guy. I'm going to go with Ryan Zimmerman just based on what it's projected to be the pitcher here tonight. And Anderson, a left-handed pitcher. Obviously, if he is not announced as a starting pitcher, I will pivot off Ryan Zimmerman, as he's not nearly as good against right-handed pitchers. But maybe I guess it depends on where they put him in the lineup. He still is a pretty cheap price for a guy hitting in Coors Field, coming off 2 home runs against right-handed pitchers last night, actually, in Miami, which is pretty crazy. So, good pop there. I think he can continue it against a lefty here tonight, which he was very good against last year. 290 ISO and a 475 WOBA against them in 2018. Also had some good pop throughout his career, really, against lefties. So good spot here going against Tyler Anderson in Colorado. Really good park upgrade for him, and really cheap price tag at $4,300 for a guy with good power against the lefties. So with that everything considered, he is a guy that goes through slumps, but with him hitting really well last night and also hit a double against San Fran, I think that is a good sign for Zimmerman going forward, especially here tonight if Tyler Anderson, the lefty, is announced as a starter. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my third guy. Then I'm going to go with Piscotty as my final guy. A little bit of a salary relief here at $3,300 for a guy that's going to be probably towards the middle of the lineup. Definitely more upside in that situation. And also, he has some solid power against the left-handed pitchers. Mike Minor has been up and down. He's either like terrible, I feel like, or really good. And against an Oakland team which has a lot of right-handed batters that are pretty good against lefties, I could see him struggling here, honestly, tonight against this A's lineup. The A's have been struggling a little bit recently. I think this is the game where they can get it going against a lefty. They've shown some weaknesses, I would say, against right-handed pitchers. But with all those righties with solid power in Chapman, Chris Davis, Piscotty, a few other guys, Pinder, I think they can really get it done in this matchup. And Piscotty, $3,300, really good value for a guy that has the pop, has the ability to have some big games. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my final guy. That gets you up to $3,650 remaining per player. Some of the best plays on the slate, I would say, Jack Flaherty, really good K upside. Could honestly go for like 25 to 30 DraftKings points if he can be spinning the ball well in that one. And then Joe Musgrove, really safe guy to pair with him, who can be a nice little safety valve for Flaherty if he does get in trouble. Ryan Zimmerman, really good power upside against a lefty if Anderson is starting. Moncada, really good power against righties. Dahl, always great at home against righties. And Piscotty, solid pop against lefties. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Slap a like if you did get anything of value in this one. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Missing out on some good DFS advice and content. So good luck here tonight, and we'll see you back here again next time.